Hi, welcome to this video on connecting our activity with the game manager. Till now we have built the UI in XML, connected the UI to the activity, written code for game manager to run the game, and finally we are going to write the last piece, which is to connect the activity and the game manager, and finally also see the game in action. So let us open up our main activity. So here you can see last time we connected our UI XML to the activity where we were able to simulate user events. So to connect our game manager, first let us create the member variable which is going to hold the game manager. Now to handle the callbacks from the game manager, we also need to implement the game manager callback. So we're just going to write here at the top, comma game manager callback, which will tell the compiler that the main activity should implement all the classes which are there in the game manager callback interface. So you can use this red bulb here to do a shortcut, select all the methods and do okay. So you can see at the bottom it has created all the method definitions for us. So the next thing that we need to do is, before using the game manager, we need to initialize it in the onCreate method. So just below your set content view, write the game manager equal to new game manager. Now if you remember, we have three methods in game manager which expect to be called from the UI. First is the start game, and then we have the on left thumb button clicked, and then on right thumb button clicked, and we also have a callback. So if you remember, we have not connected the callback here. We've just assigned and initialized the game manager object, but we also need to tell the game manager that we are the callback and this is the class that it has to use. So we will initialize the callback method like this. Now game manager knows whom to call back. The first thing that we need to do is to start the game. So for that, we will just call game manager dot start game. So whenever the user clicks the on start game button, the game manager, we will call the game manager start game, and it is going to reset all the values and start the timer, and also display that it is the turn of left thumb button. Now when left thumb button is clicked, we will tell the game manager that click was received from left thumb. The same thing for the right thumb button click method. Player dot right. Now we are going to handle the callbacks. So we can just actually write a method here which will tell start of callbacks. The first thing is the time change. If you remember, we had done the binding which will contain the reference of all the text views, and we also have a time left text view. So we are going to update that. If you remember the Kotlin string templates, we can write like this: time left colon, and we can write seconds left seconds. But if you see, Android will tell you that this is not the recommended way. You can see there is a warning, and we should actually move this string to the strings.xml. So that is what we are going to do. Just copy this, go to resources, our strings. We can use this score text, change it to time left, and then put our value here. So instead of seconds left, it will be %t. And let's go back to main activity. Now we will have to use a method called getString, which will take the resource ID of the string, so time left, and then we need to pass the value. So what Android will do at runtime, it is going to find this string in strings.xml, and in place of %t, it is going to put the value. So the next thing is set player. For that we will do binding dot player text view dot text is equal to, so if So we'll just use the name of the enum. So for left, it will come as caps left. So when this code changed, we need to handle it as a if case. So if player, if player is equal to player dot left. If you remember, equals is double equal to. We have separate text view for both left and right. So if you remember, we have also defined the string for the score text, string dot score text, comma score. So we only have two players now, so we can actually do this. If it is not the left player, it should be the right player. Okay, so this method is also done. At the end, we have the show winner method. What we're going to do is when the game ends, we will show an alert dialog. This alert dialog is a pop-up, a small message box with an OK button. You might have seen it while using the apps. So the first thing that we need is a default message, which is a tie message. So let us go back to strings and define those messages. Next is the winner message, where we will tell winner is, and instead of percentage %d, we will have percentage %s, where s will be the replacement for string. So d is for a number, integer, and s is for string. So first let us handle the case of tie. So if winners dot size is greater than 1, which means it's a tie, then we are going to show so because we are using alert dialog, we need to store the message in a variable. So message is equal to get string dot string dot tie message. So we don't need to handle because by default we are having that. So if winners dot size is equal to 1, which means it's not a tie, and then inside that if winners dot contains player dot left, then our message will have to change to get string dot string dot winner message, and we will pass player dot left dot name, else because we know there can only be one case, message is equal to the right player name. Once this is done, we will define our alert dialog. So alert dialog is defined using a builder. So it takes the context, which in our case is the activity, and then we do a set title, like you can put game over. So let us move this also to strings.xml. Game over text. So you can either pass a string or you can pass the value or the string identifier. Set message. So we have already computed the message, so we're just going to use that. Then we need to add a button, set positive button dot string dot okay. We don't have that, so let us go and define it. Okay, let's copy the identifier. Then finally, show method, which will actually display the user. Now it's showing error because the positive button methods expects a callback in case you want to do or you want to handle the user action when he presses the OK button. We don't need to do anything, so I'm just going to put it as null. So here, yes, we have connected our activity with the game manager successfully, and let us just test it out. Hopefully everything will work. Let's switch to our emulator and see whether everything runs properly. So yes, default UI is there, nothing has changed. But now if I press the start game, you can see that the mobile is telling me that it was the turn of left player and now the right player, and at the end it's a tie because I didn't click any of the buttons. So let us start it again. So now you see it's the right turn, and if I keep pressing left, nothing happens. Let us just press right. So yeah, you see I press the left button more times just to explain to you. So the winner is left. So yeah, it's working. Our simple game is working, and in the next video we will try to upload this on the Play Store and see how the process looks like. See you there. Thanks for watching.